What's going on, everyone? It's harvest day here at the farm. I am super excited that you guys all tuned in for today. It's gonna be an exciting episode. We've got buckets to fill. We got approximately 750 plants to harvest from. It's gonna be a doozy of a day, and it's just getting started. Let's go. First up is the Mad Hatter. This is a determinate, more of kind of a bush style tomato. Really crazy cool tomatoes. We did a taste test not too long ago, and that was really loved by everybody. But so many of you asked if it was gonna get much taller, and the answer is no. This is again, this is kind of a bush style or kind of like a patio style tomato. It is determinate, so a lot of these tomatoes are ripening up. They're gonna be basically all ripe within about a week and a half. I mean, they're just loaded up. This is crazy. Plants are so heavy that they're just flopping over essentially. But yields were incredible, flavor was awesome, and I'm really excited about this. So we're gonna get these harvested. Look at how beautiful these are. Oh my goodness, these Mad Hatter tomatoes are incredible. I just can't get over how dark, almost black the shoulders are, and then it transitions to this almost like a sunburst. It just is so beautiful. I mean, one of the more beautiful tomatoes I've ever seen. Check this out, you guys. Look at how loaded these plants are. It is unbelievable. This is probably one of the more productive tomatoes I've ever grown. In fact, in some cases, it's more tomato than it is foliage. It's really remarkable. Alrighty, I think this is just about it. My gosh. All right, there we go. There's the last of the Mad Hatter for today. We still have a lot more on the plant still ripening up, but honestly, super happy with that. That is amazing. Good, almost a half of a 5-gallon bucket worth of tomatoes. Up next is the Royal Paste. Now it's Royal with an E at the end, so it's kind of Royale Paste. This is one of my all-time favorite tomatoes. This has become just such a favorite of mine because it is so tall, so consistent. I mean, it really stands up tall, and the paste-like nature of this is unbelievable. I mean, it's productive beyond belief. This was a Roma that was crossed with a Zapotec pleated. And when we mentioned that in the video where we were doing a taste test, a lot of you asked, well, if it's a cross, is it a hybrid? The answer is no, it's not. It's not a hybrid. So it started out as a hybrid, but over time, it's been bred for genetic consistency. And so, oh, look at this one. Look at this. You guys, look at this. Look at how beautiful this one is. So it's got a couple days till it ripens completely, but we don't want to harvest them at peak ripeness. We talk about this all the time, how we want to still conserve the structural integrity of the tomatoes, because once we harvest seeds from them, we still do use the tomato. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to harvest them because the seeds inside are viable. The fruit itself is ripening. This is about 2 days from being absolutely perfect. So we leave a little bit of this kind of blushing on the shoulders of the tomato. Since it ripens from the flower end up to the stem end, we'll leave it, it'll completely ripen, and that'll allow us to make tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce, pizza sauce, whole canned tomatoes. This is just unbelievable. I mean, it's just, oh my gosh, and the smell of the skin is like, it's just, wow. I absolutely love this. This is so exciting to me. But this is probably one of the more beautiful tomatoes I've ever seen in my entire life. It just doesn't get more beautiful than this. I love it. All right, so mind you, it's also about 93 degrees. So because of that, I look like a sweaty mess. So I'm not gonna pick all these tomatoes right now on camera. We got ourselves a full 5-gallon bucket, and then we probably have at least another 5-gallon bucket full from this, and there's so many more tomatoes coming on. This is by far just the most crazy producing tomato that I've seen in such a long time. Again, could be the year, could be the fact that of the variety, but it's just, there's so many, and it's so beautiful. So, all right, we're gonna move on to the next one. I'll come back to these, finish these up, because I do have to get out of the sun. When it's this hot, a lot of you that live down south, a lot of you that live out west, you guys are very used to super hot weather. Up here in Michigan, we're not. This season's been unreal. I mean, it just has been unreal. From June up until now, it actually is a rarity for it to drop below 80 degrees. And I know you're saying, oh, 80 degrees. 80 degrees with like 90 to 95% humidity, it's completely different than 80 degrees and dry. If it was 30%, 40% humidity, forget it, no comment even made. This is disgusting. I mean, you literally just are in a sauna 24/7. So we're gonna move on to another variety because I'm dying. So we're here with a variety called Gold Zebra, and it gets its name because it was a green zebra crossed with a blueberries tomato. And you just get this really incredible, like yellow, but it still gets the kind of like light purple like streaking in it. It is incredible. It's just starting to ripen up, so we're not gonna get a lot from here, but I didn't show this in our taste test video. And I'm not gonna taste it because, well, I tasted it off camera, but I don't wanna spoil the surprise because I want you guys to experience the flavors and kind of get a little surprise yourself. But it is a low acid tomato as a spoiler. It's a sweeter, more low acid tomato. And I did hear all of you. A lot of you said, Luke, I don't want a low acid tomato. I want a high acid tomato. I want something that kicks me in the face with acid. And I said, okay, well, that's fine. I've got something for you. So the next tomato we're gonna harvest, it's called tomato soup. And the reason why it's called tomato soup is because the first time I bit into it, it tasted like I was biting into basically like taking a spoonful of Campbell's tomato soup. It's the most concentrated, delicious flavor that I've ever tasted from a deep red tomato. And we'll do that one next. And this again is an absurdly productive tomato. Ideally, this one should have gotten staked up on another row as well. The fruit just weighed this whole thing down, actually pulled the T-posts inward, and these are just the ripe ones. There's probably another 50 to 60 tomatoes in here. From here to here, I bet you there's probably 50 to 60 tomatoes. It's unbelievable. This thing is just dense and it's right on the ground. Pulled the lines right down to the ground. So it's gonna make harvesting a little challenging. Alrighty, so that is just about it for the Gold Zebra. Got ourselves almost a 5-gallon bucket full, and there are so many more still to ripen. I mean, we're barely scratching the surface on this one. So this one is done. We're gonna move on to a fourth and final one because it is real hot. We're gonna pace ourselves today, but I wanted to get a really good tomato harvest in for all of you to just kind of show what we're getting, how much we're getting, because a lot of you also kind of like to know what to expect when it comes to yields. Whenever you're trying a new variety, so how much does it yield? How many plants do I need to plan for to get the amount of tomatoes that I'm looking for? So this kind of gives you a good rough idea. In each one of these rows, we have 25 plants. So from 25 plants, only probably about 15, 20% harvested. We got a 5-gallon bucket. So it's a good yield. Now, the final thing I was gonna touch on before we moved on to another variety, as sweat is just dripping down my face, is the comment that I saw come up, which is that, Luke, of course you're gonna talk highly about tomatoes because you're trying to sell the seeds. So obviously the people that made that comment probably haven't watched this channel that long. You know that I am critical when I can be critical, and I'm going to give praise when I can give praise. In that same video where I was tasting the tomatoes, there were several that I tried to find something good to talk about, because if you're only talking about negatives, that's more of a reflection of you than it is the thing you're talking about. You know, giving constructive feedback or constructive criticism about something is necessary to decide if something's going to be a good fit for you or not. If it's incredible, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me, I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to highlight that because that's my own personal experience. Might that be yours? I don't know. Taste is so personal, and it varies. You know, is the tomato extra ripe? Is it not quite ripe yet? Have you had a lot of rain? Has it been overcast? You know, all these conditions play into effect of how a tomato tastes. And so, you know, I hope that you have the same experience that I have. And that's a hope, because that's not always the case. And the fourth tomato we're gonna be harvesting today is a no-name variety. And this was gonna be really fun, is we're actually looking for name ideas. As you guys know, we actually bought the distribution rights from a plant breeder for these varieties. They essentially look for varieties, they crossbreed different varieties, non-GMO, but they crossbreed varieties to essentially create new traits for something that they're looking for. And they're typically looking for more kind of market-friendly, shelf-stable, shippable tomatoes. And when they get a result that they're not necessarily looking for, but is still incredible, they sell those to growers like us. And so we're able to name them. Now, we don't have a name for this one. And so I would love it if you would comment in the comments box down below what you would like to see this named. No promises that it's going to get picked, but I would love to see what you guys have in mind. It is a plum tomato, or kind of a paste style tomato. Pointy, got a real nice point to them. And it is purple, pink, and a little bit of red, kind of some fuchsia in there. Really super cool. Really, really cool. It is a indeterminate paste tomato, still growing and flowering as we go, still growing and flowering. Very heavy yielder. So let me know what you think in the comments box. Like I said, we'll look over some of those names and maybe we'll pick yours, pick your idea. So let's get these harvested up. There's a ton here. So this one is, like I said, this is a heavy producer. Look at these beautiful tomatoes. Oh my gosh, they are stunning. We're gonna come in here. We've got loads to pick. And I probably won't even get to all these today just because of, again, temperature restrictions here, but they are loaded, absolutely loaded. Now, the other cool thing about this variety is the disease resistance. We've had a lot of rain and some of our tomatoes have started to show signs of blight, and they are just now, the lower leaves getting a little bit diseased. So many of you ask about this white plastic. You ask, what is it? Where do you get it? What is it used for? So it's basically kind of quite a multi-purpose answer. But we use the white silage tarp, that's what it's called, to suppress weeds. We essentially put this down over top of our bed before we planted to smother out and suppress any weeds. So it kills weeds. It also helps keep the soil cooler because it's white side up. It's black on the bottom, white on the top. You can flip it and reverse it if you want. But for mid-season growing like this, we like to keep the soil cool because it actually keeps the tomatoes and the plants that we're growing pretty stress-free. It also does not solarize and kill the soil. So it retains soil bacteria and microbes and the fungi that we want to actually foster in the soil. They're actually retained. It is not permeable, so the rain does not penetrate down. So we actually cut slits where we plant. And that is the only downside to this, is you have to actually water pretty aggressively right where the plant is. And then the nice thing is though, is that any groundwater, it evaporates up, gets trapped by the plastic, and then condenses back down into the plant. So you actually conserve water through this method quite a bit, by up to about 75%. So we're just about done with this here. Oh my gosh, look at these. Oh my word. The clusters are just outrageous. Look at under here. Look at this. I mean, absolutely crazy. The clusters, these aren't even ripe yet. Oh my gosh, that one is though. Look at that, beautiful. So we are almost at a half of a 5-gallon bucket. I'd say right at the halfway mark. By the time we go over to the other side and pick the other way back, we should easily be at a full 5-gallon bucket. But that's about it for today. Check it out, you guys. This is such a haul, and this is just scratching the surface. Like I said, we have about 750 plants to harvest from. We harvested from only about, I'd say maybe 150 plants worth. This is just getting started. Our season is just beginning, and I am so happy with the results. So really, really beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all learned something new. Stay tuned for these seeds, for these tomatoes to drop in our store November 1st, tentatively. Early November is what we're saying for 2026. We are going to be unveiling all of these seeds for sale, plus all the other ones we've not talked yet about. Very exciting stuff over on our website, migardener.com. Also, if you're just now seeing this and it's not too late, you're not watching it months after, these tomatoes are not in the website yet, but there are over 750 seeds that are on our website that if you want to get some seeds, you can actually get them 40% off. Right now, they're 40% off while supplies last. Definitely go check them out and go get yourself some seeds. They don't go bad. We just have to start liquidating to start packing seeds for the 2026 gardening season because they are packed for 2025. They have to be gone by the end of 2025, so we always clearance them out. So it's a great time for you to save some money, and we still do free shipping on seed orders of $20 or more. So go throw some seeds in your cart. It's a great deal. If you want to keep them for the fall season, that's easy. just get some seeds for the fall season. But if you want to keep them for next year, keep them cool, dark, and dry. Throw them in a Ziploc baggie in the back of your fridge or just in a cool area of your home. As long as they stay cool, dark, and dry, you're going to be fine. Seed germination will be perfect for next year. It's just we can't legally sell them because they're marked for 2025. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you all on the next episode. I'm going to get out of the sun because I'm just about ready to melt. All right, catch you guys later. Grow bigger. Bye.